the entire purpose of affirmative action, set-asides, civil rights laws, laws that limit constitutional rights to freedom of contract, freedom of association, all of that was to make up for the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. So unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined, foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves, you've taken away the whole purpose of this. So to make the point that Kamala isn't a foundational Black American, I always point to, unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined, foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense?
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations your family's been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
I'm always going to be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American, because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this, when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on the African American Olympic team. I competed on the American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
I am not an African American, I'm an American. I am a Black American, I am definitely Black, and yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So
Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't. We're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a Black American. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American and shout that. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American. What's up? I'm not African. Very strong.
As I was going back to see, he pointed out for me I could go back when I want to. Go back to where? Huh? Go anywhere.
Sir, could you stand up? We can't hear you. Could you stand up over there by the microphone?
You mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? We are not Africans no more. You have raped our great-grandmothers and stuff and changed us. Finish. Let me finish. I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me.
Figure out how Afro get in front of my motherfucking race. I ain't never been to Afro-Caribbean. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I was born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa, ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland, yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land. America real true land is right here in the U.S. soil. My mama can't tell me not one story about Africa. I don't know nothing about Africa. All I know is all the African people I know and run into, they think they better than us over here.
Hey man, peace to fresh always with the early super chat lineage love, $1.99, man. Respect, respect, respect. Into your dig. Okay, hold on. I got one arm right now. I got one arm. Hold on, family. Yeah, I was gonna do a roll call, but I got one arm. All right. So yeah, you dig. I love that thumbnail right there because of that Black American Heritage flag. I love that flag. And the yellow with the yeah, I like this thumbnail, man. The FBA News and Updates got it in yellow, matching the flag, blend in perfectly. Yeah, you dig? That flag is fire. You dig? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. All right, yeah. So listen, man. Pan-Africanists are like yesterday news. I'ma still roast them just for the hell of it, but they are like we got bigger fish to fry, literally, and they are conservatives. Liberalism is interesting because they're racist, but they're not blatant. Like you really gotta catch them in their bullshit. You dig? Like like you gotta like I would love to debate a liberal on this whole ICE shit. Like that's what I want them. You know what I mean? I want to debate them on the whole ICE. They're defending illegal, undocumented immigrants. That's where they show their racism by their actions. Conservatives they're gonna say things that they don't care. They're gonna say things that's clearly racist. So it's easier to spot them. But liberal, they're more slick. Okay, and people saying former President Obama ain't do shit. He was horrible, whatever, whatever. Well, that's your opinion, and guess what? He ain't got nothing to do with us. That dude was Kenyan. So if you mad at him, I'm talking about conservatives. Y'all mad at him? Well, don't tie him to us. He ain't the first black nothing. You dig? He first Kenyan and mulatto, whatever the hell he is. Yeah, that's what y'all invited to the country. They ain't got nothing to do with us. So like we know better. We know better. Everybody in the chat, but we need FBAs to like that's unbeknownst to this fight we got. They need to be on par. Like nah, don't defend him. You ain't gotta hate him either. You dig? If he did good, you think he did good, then rock with that. But don't defend his bullshit because he's not a descendant of slaves. You dig at all? He's a descendant of selling slaves, a slave raider. Okay, so let me do this right here. What's this? No. Oh yeah. Let me do this real fast.
I feel like as an African American, this diaspora bullshit is dumb as fuck. Stupid. Don't get me wrong, it's stupid as hell. And also a little bit frustrating because we know if the tables were motherfucking turned and this was AAs talking about Africans, baby, we be getting dragged on this internet for weeks. We be getting all types of names, baby. All types. And to receive hate from a group of motherfuckers that look identical to us is the craziest shit ever. And I honestly would have never expected it. And then some of y'all, your excuse as to why you did the trend is because you were called an African booty scratcher in middle school. Expected it. And then some of y'all, your excuse as to why you did the trend is because you were called an African booty scratcher in middle school. I was called an African booty scratcher. I'm not even African. So if you're going to try to come up with a reason as to why you dislike African Americans, use something else. And let's not forget, we were all 13. I don't know anybody in 2022 that's still referring to any black people as African booty scratchers. So if we're going to be anything, let's be fucking for real. And y'all have always, the ones that dislike African Americans, you have always wanted to make it seem like that we hate you guys just so much, when really it's the other way around. Because let's be honest, this shit is one-sided as a motherfucker right now. Because in our African American households, we were not taught to dislike people that look just like us, because that's dumb shit. But in your household, something else is going on. You guys are sitting at the table brainstorming slurs to call other people that look just like you. Is akata the word? And y'all thought y'all ate with that shit and you didn't. You definitely regurgitated. Because I didn't forget the trend where y'all got on this bitch and let us know how much your black African parents hated your African American peers. And the crazy thing is, those same parents that call us those slurs are those same parents that filled out mountains of paperwork to get their asses over here on land that was built on the backs of our ancestors. The reason you are able to free roam here today. It's crazy, isn't it? And then I see some of y'all living in America talking about some, oh, America isn't that great. America isn't all that. You're right. Yet you get on your knees begging and pleading your parents for mercy when they want to send you in the next box to Africa because you came in your curfew 2 minutes late. I've seen it. So, if we're going to be anything, let's be fucking for real.
Yeah, she was spitting fire on the right side of the screen. I'm over here promoting Moon Duck Foundation of Black American Descendants of Slaves T-shirt, $21. If anybody's interested, it's on Amazon. You dig? Hold on, I see a different image on the back. Okay. What's that? Oh, exercises. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, man, I think promoting people products is cool. You feel me? As long as it's not controversial. Like for example, if he was promoting a soap, I wouldn't. If he had a soap to sell, I wouldn't show that. Okay, because you don't know. You know what I mean? A soap is kind of, you got to put that on your skin. So I wouldn't do that. But safe stuff like a t-shirt, sneakers, hat, coat, you know what I mean? See, even like lipstick, I wouldn't do that because I don't want to be responsible for something like that. You feel me? So anything you put in your skin, I won't be, or eat in your mouth, I wouldn't be able to freely support that because I can't be responsible for somebody having a reaction. But something easy like this, a music CD or, you know, promoting music, easy things like that. Eyelashes, you know, that's easy stuff. But anything you put in your skin or put in your mouth, that's kind of difficult to promote because you're like liable for any. Nah, I'm good, But stuff like this, fun stuff like this, toys is cool. Books are, of course, cool. Things like that is cool. So I think we should support each other, advertise safe products. Like even services, I couldn't really get behind. Let's say if somebody was a mechanic, I couldn't support you. You might be a horrible mechanic. You might be a fake scamming mechanic. You did me? Say, I want to be tied to no. This guy sneezing in my face. I want to be tied to no services that I can't verify that they're great. You dig? But the little I can do, I'm gonna do. So a t-shirt is safe, fun. I'm gonna promote it because I think that's not hard. It's not too much liabilities tied with that. Okay. Anyway, let's move forward. Okay. Okay. So anyway, this is the woman earlier. She I'm not gonna play the video, but I'm gonna just show you. Okay. So this is the woman who beat up Charlie Kirk. So ever since then, white supremacists like had it out for her. Everybody want to debate her. So she's like having a debate right now with some big shot. Let me show you this big shot. Okay, so he calls this what he calls her. He calls her feminist, leftist, anti-Trump, all this stuff. That's what he calls her. Okay. And his channel is whatever. He got 4.5 million subscribers. So you know what I mean? In this space, he a big dog. This video got 805,000 views in 3 months. So that let you know. You know what I mean? Like this dude is serious. As far as his supporters. And that's what we need to be, family, over here and other places. But I gotta speak for myself. That's what we need to be. That's our goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like when y'all found my channel, y'all didn't find me at 30,000 subscribers. You didn't find me at 80,000 or 107. Y'all found me at some of y'all found me in the hundreds. Some of you found me at 1,000. Some of y'all today found me at 2,500. That's light. So if this channel grows and blow up near his stuff, like folks were here from the beginning. You dig? This wasn't no bandwagon. Oh, he's hot. Let's check him out. Nah, people helped this channel grow. And the 805,000 subscribers, no, that was views. He's at 4.5 million. You dig? Now, if I'm in the millions, right, I'm not going to expose myself. I got more respect for my supporters and myself. I'm not going to put myself out there to get Charlie Kirk. Nah, a million subscribers, I'm gonna be low key as hell. But I'm a be low key on this damn microphone though, spitting facts. But I ain't gonna go out there and put myself in somebody's scope because when you got million subscribers, you got hella influence. And what we talk about will be heavily influenced. You feel me? The messages come from this channel will be powerful, way more powerful with a million subscribers. You feel me? So you become a threat to folks who have a political position, and your words pretty much can deter folks from supporting them because you're debunking their bullshit. So there's a sacrifice with this lifestyle that all of us is in, but we signed up for it. It dicks anyway. So these guys, I didn't watch this. I can't tell you much about it, but she ain't dodging smoke. Now she is, I believe she's a liberal or at least a Democrat. She's a Democrat, right? Because I found out there's some wordplay with the whole liberal shit. I'm gonna read this in a second. Okay. So there's some wordplay with the liberals. So I said, let me figure this shit out. Like I'm not the most political savvy guy. So it turns out there's a whole underworld with this stuff. But she's a Democrat for real, right? She's not, I don't believe she's FBA aware, but I don't even know her background. But I do know that she's bold, she's witty, she does good research, and she's a debater. She's a debater. I would love to see her. She's holding down. She got a guy with 4.5 million subscribers calling her out. She beat up Charlie Kirk. I would love to see her debate Candace Owens. Like I think that would be a great debate. Okay, so I looked up liberals versus leftists because they're both Democrats, the liberals and leftists, but it looks like leftists are on some other shit. So it says while liberals seek to reform capitalism, leftists advocate for replacing it entirely with a socialist, communist, or anarchist system. And I'm like, wow, because I did hear a lot of like tethers that was like liberals pushing this socialist movement, communist shit. So I'm like, oh, that's okay. So they're called a leftist. Leftists reside further left on the political spectrum than liberals and are often distrustful of existing institutions, which they see as upholding an oppressive status quo. So basically, leftists would be like the extreme version of liberals, or Democrats, like the alt-right Richard Spencer type guy would be the extreme right-wing person. So it says at the bottom, it says liberal views on capitalism believes that capitalist system is fundamentally sound, but needs reform through regulation and social programs to address inequalities. Leftist says views on capitalism as inherently exploitative and the root cause of systemic inequality calls for its abolition or replacement. Okay, and then that's crazy. And the economic approach liberals supports a regulated market economy and the expansion of the social safety net as exemplified by programs like Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal, 1935, and Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society, which is somewhere in the 1960s. Okay, leftist economic approach advocates for collective or social ownership of the means of production with control potentially exercised by workers, the state, or communes. I just don't believe this socialist. I mean, socialist communism bullshit. This would never happen. There's no evidence of this. There's no family. Call me out on this one. There's no evidence of this happening with a diverse. Listen to my words, because you're gonna go to Denmark and some fucking white European countries. But listen, what I'm saying. There's no communist society. There's no example of a diverse population. This can only work with the same people. Like Chinese people could be communists, Arabs can be communists, Latino countries can be communists. They're the same people there. Africa, like certain countries in Africa can be communist, but diverse populations, I don't believe there's no evidence anywhere in this world where a diverse population could be communist. And I will explain later if somebody wants smoke. I'll send you ass that then and the link, right? Not saying I'm not, this ain't my field, right? So I will be like at your mercy, but I don't believe there's a working example of a diverse communist society. I believe it can never happen, a diverse communist society. Okay, so institutions, liberals approach institutions. It works with existing democratic, legal, and political institutions to achieve gradual change. Leftists views existing institutions as illegitimate tools of oppression that must be dismantled and replaced. That I might agree with both of those. Perspective on change, liberal believes in incremental change and reforms that make the current system fairer. Leftist calls for fundamental radical change to social and political structures and is often skeptical skeptical of incremental approaches. Well, I think in order for that to happen, I think you need incremental changes. So ideological focus, liberals' core value, they place a high value on individual liberty, civil rights, and property rights. Leftists prioritize collective equality and challenges systemic hierarchies related to power, wealth, and status. So social analysis, liberals tend to focus on individuals and their equal opportunity to succeed within the existing system. Leftists look at social analysis, often view society through the lens of class struggle and the exploitation of workers by the owning class. I think leftists will be okay if they just drop the whole socialist communist rhetoric. Okay. So the common ground, despite the differences, modern liberals and leftists share some common social and progressive goals, such as environmental protection, LGBTQ plus rights, racial equality, women's rights, varying regional definitions. It is important to note that the uses of these terms, particularly liberal, can differ significantly between the United States and Europe. In the U.S., liberal most often refers to modern or social liberalism, whereas in Europe, it can refer to a more limited government, classical liberalism that is closer to American libertarianism. All right, so I guess I'll come back to that later. Let me see what the chat talking about. What the chat talking about, and please like the video, We not that heavy in here. Afro troop. Okay, I can do my roll call now. Let me do my roll call. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna start from the newest to the oldest. A Hill in the building. Moondog Maximus. He said, I think Candace Owens undermines her intelligence by being a bedwench. A brother, listen, I'm gonna tell you, somebody who watches her, watch her debate. I kind of study her because I want to debate her. Bro, Candace Owens ain't got no goddamn intelligence. They just, again, I'm not the end all be all, and I'm not saying that's the truth because I said so. I'm just giving my opinion, but I'm back. I'm qualifying it with I watch her debates, I watch her arguments. I wouldn't take her as I think she's light work. I think Charlie Kirk is more of a challenge than her. Uh, I think, yeah, she's not good, man. She's not a good debater at all. I'm gonna be honest. Her, Larry Elder, Nick Fuentes, like these people are not good debaters. Charlie Kirk was decent. Uh, I believe Richard Spencer, no, not him. Jared Taylor is decent. I think like there's better people out there. I think Ben Shapiro is pretty good. Okay, like he's like their top elite debater. You feel me? But Candace Owens is on the bottom of the bottom as far as debating conservatism and all the talking points. She's really bottom. She made some dumb points, man, and I got them. You know, I'm the clip master. I'm the clip master. Yeah, I don't respect her intelligence at all. I think she's a goofball. I think Ben Shapiro is more clever, more witty, more educated, and he'll be more of a challenge for me. But not like I got Candace Owens on like she's a notch better than Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines is probably the dumbest person out there representing conservatism. Um, yeah, but I got Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes like a tie. You feel me? I got Jared Taylor slightly above Candace Owens as far as like who I believe who will give me a challenge. See, the thing about debating or fighting or racing or whatever challenge you got, right? Bowling, um, whatever it is, shooting pool, throwing darts. Like you know who is tough for you by just watching people who are in that same space. You know people will give you a problem. Even like let's say beauty pageants. Even beauty pageants, like those women, they know those girls, little girls, they know who's out there who will give them a challenge and who won't. And Candace Owens is one of those people who will not give me a challenge at all. Nick Fuentes will not give me a challenge. Myron Gaines, nothing. I believe Ben Shapiro will be tough. I like the Saint. I think the Saint is a smart guy. I think he's a good debater. I think if we ever disagreed on something, I think he would be a tough problem for me too. The Saints. I think he's really good. I watch him. He's really good. But him and Ben Shapiro are like the anomalies in debating. I think they're really good. I think you got to really have your shit straight and ducks in order to call them two out publicly. Like you could find yourself looking like Canelo versus Terrence Crawford if you don't have your information tight and your rebuttals tight. Yeah, so that's my thought on that. Like Candace Owens, I don't believe there's any intelligence over there at all. I think she's just she's a regurgitator. She just regurgitate Thomas Sowell. She just regurgitates Ben Shapiro and everybody else. She don't have she don't have no creative thoughts on no subject. Charlie Kirk, he's a regurgitator too, but he'll put his little spin on it. Like Candace Owens, I'm being dead ass. She's not good. Bro. Her and Nick Fuentes like a tie. FBA convo. Yeah, Marquez is a good debater. There's some stuff he talks about I don't like. I think it's straight BS. But overall, I watch him debate. I think he does really good. Overall, I think he does really good when he debates. See, I don't hold like I think he's like his information on certain topics. I think it's crazy. I think it's ridiculous. But I'm gonna be real though. I'm not gonna lie about who's out there that can possibly challenge me. I think Marquette is good. I think I would have to take him dead serious. I would have to really be studying and prepping. And Ben Shapiro, same thing. I think I really would have to be studying the best I can to beat Ben Shapiro and Marquette. But somebody like Myron Gaines, I don't got to do no studying. I could have no sleep. I could be dealing with a hangover, and he'll never beat me. Myron Gaines is the worst. He's the worst. Like he's actually an idiot who thinks he has a high IQ. I don't see that. I don't see a high. When I think of Myron Gaines, I don't think of high IQ. I think of an idiot. An idiot. I'm be dead ass. I think of an idiot. Straight idiot. So we got yeah, I still ain't watched the Nigerian thing yet. I'm gonna check it out. Thanks for reminding me. But no, he's good. I watched Marquette debate on hella sub. I don't think he lost some debates. He got cooked a few times, but only a handful. He's like if he debated 100 times, if Marquette debated 100 times, he won like 98. You dig? Like he's really good. Um, you need to prove and practice with phone calls. Ronnie Ron. Yeah, take some phone calls and debate callers. I do. I do. I always. Who asked for the phone number or link and didn't get it? You tell me, Moonduck. You tell me who didn't take who. But if I got a scheduled show, like tonight's kind of like open. Tonight's open. But sometimes I got things I want to talk about. I don't want to debate. I got a whole show. I got topics. I got videos to react to, and I'm not taking no calls, not from FBAs or ops. It be like that sometimes. But no, I don't recall anybody asking for the link or phone number, and I said no. The only person I would say no to is Sabir Beg. I think he's a complete waste of time. He's the only guy I will say no to. Okay, he's a nutcase. He's a complete waste of time. And all he would do is deflect, deflect, deflect. And he's the only guy I will say that I could think of off top that I would say no. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass. But other folks, Mountain Dew, he could pull up. Mountain Dew, if he asks for the phone number or link, I will let Mountain Dew, the person Tariq slapped up for disrespecting the museum, I'll let him, I call him Mountain Dew. So I will let him pull up and take the link and phone number, and he'll never beat me either. I don't give a damn what day, what time. If I'm drunk, if I'm sleepy, he'll never beat me. Like he's not my level at all as far as debating. The Mountain Dew guy. I mean, I'm gonna be real. Who I think is a challenge, and who's not. Mountain Dew is not a type. He's not a challenge at all. I watch him debate. I seen his research. It's shaky as hell. It's bad. So, let me finish my roll calls. FBA combo Moonduck. We got Fresh always. He came early with the super chat. Thank you very much, brother. With the lineage love. We got didn't have to be here running wild. Peace to you. We have in the building MC Fact. He said hit that like button. And the night crew, for some reason, the night crew be on the like button. I like hardly ever have to tell the night crew. But let's see tonight. Let's see where we're at tonight though. The night crew usually hit the like button without me even saying one thing. And look, yes, the hug the like button. Like button be yeah, the night crew, man. Y'all gotta teach the morning crew a goddamn lesson. You dig? But just to let you know, guys, I've debated to polite, kicked his ass. I debated Eric Muhammad, confounded him. Uh, like I debated some real names that's in this debating space, and I got video of everybody who I say I beat. I got a video of it to prove it. Okay. Yeah. So that you know, I beat it. I made polite look bad. Eric Muhammad looked crazy, and I beat Captain Sariak in a formal debate with a poll. Right? People had to poll. There's a poll where people had to judge who won, and I beat Captain Sariak. So I'm like really undefeated on the net, like in a formal setting, like and where everybody knows the debate. I'm like undefeated. So I beat Captain Tazariak, who's a debater. I beat Polite, who's a debater, and I beat Eric Muhammad, who's a debater. So I beat three big names in the whole debating field, and people can't beat and none of them. I mean, so to be honest, I beat bigger names than Marquette. So I got Brother Polite, Captain Tazariak. Those two are big names. I don't know Marquette debate somebody with bigger names than that. So I got the big names under my belt. Just to let y'all know. Okay. Uh yeah, nah, it's yeah. I had show videos. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I'll show me killing polite. I'll show me confounded Eric Muhammad. And the Tazariak debate, just go to Sunday TV or whatever channel he uses right now and just type it in there and go to the end. Go to the end where the poll numbers came in. And you'll see I officially beat him. Like I won. Yeah, Donnie Williams will let you know he's been here a long time ago. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Unc can't touch. Unc knows. Unc not on my level. Uh, Unc is like down there with Myron Gaines. Like he's not on my level at all. Unc knows that. Dell Mac El Wayne. Yeah. When Unc's on the channel, like it's just play. For Lanes in the building. Who else? A Hills in the building. We got Golden Browns in the building. We got Pinky Wells in the building. Okay, so now somebody's helped me out with the PDF, but even when they formatted it, they had the same issue. I don't know why. When you try to make a Microsoft Word and you turn to a PDF, the format goes wacky. Because even when they sent me like a preview of like a rough draft, what they did, the PDF was wacky, and that's the only reason why the PDF not up. You dig? Because it seemed like when I went to convert the Microsoft Word to a PDF, it looks stupid. And then when they had did it themselves and they sent me the copy, it looks just as bad. You feel me? So I don't know what's going on. But I have an idea that might work. But I'm gonna first let those people work with me. I'm gonna give them a fair shot to see if something can change, if they can help out. If not, I got a cheat code I'm gonna do.
All I know is an excerpt. I didn't listen to it.
Something?
I retweet. So a girl that I follow.
The podcast?
No, so a girl that I followed, she quote tweet because people were like, I'm not listening to it, but she screen recorded just like an excerpt of it, of where a girl was like, oh, like, you know, like Caribbean women, they don't also basically calling Caribbean women like bum bitches, like, oh, because Ghanaian men or African men lean towards Caribbean women because they don't have to go to school, they don't have to work, you know, and I'm like whoa, I'm like, I'm Jamaican, come from a Jamaican household, and my ass was in school, right out of high school. I was already first year university. I had to finish all 4 years. My mom would beat my ass, or she would cuss out and tell my aunties and my uncles and my grandparents.
That was very ignorant for them to say. But I think that we have to also realize as a Ghanaian, what we grew up understanding was that you guys were. I'm not gonna say you guys. I feel like I had to.
Pause this. Thank you to Mr. AMG, $5 super chat. So I did watch the sister with the locks that beat up Charlie Kirk. She had a so Ben Shapiro was doing like a 20v1, and she was there. They went at it, and she held her own. So, but yeah, Ben Shapiro doing a 20v1 because he knows he's good. Like he's not your average guy. Like he's top tier on that side. On that conservative side, Ben Shapiro is a top tier guy. So he was on there. I could see Charlie Kirk doing the 20v1 if he was alive and doing okay, even though old girl beat him up. And I got some videos where he take L's. But thank you, Mr. AMG, for the $5 super chat. He says, "Wow, I thought Polite was very sharp." He is very sharp, but he is very sharp. But here's the thing, though. I'm sharp, but I'm not sharp on every topic. Some topics, I'm horrible. I will look retarded. Some topics, if I jump out there, I'm gonna look retarded. Whatever respect you got for me, you're gonna lose it all on certain topics if I jump out there. So to see that, here's the part of intelligence, Mr. AMG. You got to know your limitations. You can't buy into your ego. You dig? Buy into your own rhetoric and buy into like people, your supporters. You have to know and be real with yourself, what you're actually good at and what you're bad at. I'm not great with politics. Look, I had to go ahead and Google the difference between a leftist and a goddamn liberal. I didn't know. You feel me? So politics right now is not my shit. I'm trying to get more involved though. But right now, as it stands today, that's not my thing. I'm horrible. And I would look goofy. I would look goofy out there debating politics. Well, that's how Polite looked when he debated me. He's debating somebody who's on his tail. Like I was behind Polite, and not only did I beat him in debate, I debunked a lot of his antics, like his get rich schemes. I debunked them on a regular basis before ChatGPT, like real research. I debunked his get rich schemes that he was promoting before a ChatGPT or before I started using it. So for me, he was always easy. To me, he was always easy because I felt like he was debating out of his lane. I think his lane is religion and close to that. But when he gets to business, I think he's horrible when it comes to business. He made claims that you cannot do. There's no financial book that will ever side with him. Like you can never in financial literacy, nobody can ever guarantee you a return on your investment. That's actually illegal. And Brother Polite was guaranteeing returns on investments. I mean, come on, man. Like you can't beat me. Well, you can't beat me when I know that's illegal. I know nobody can do that. And he's doing it to his fan base. Hey, man, give me such money, and I guarantee you'll get this minimum and maybe more. That's a scam by FBI. At all the websites definition, that's a scam. Nobody could guarantee a return on investment. It's the business financial books teach you that it's always a risk. Investments are a risky business. You can easily lose it all. I know. I read financial books. I didn't chat GPT. I read them. I know. And nobody can shake me from that position. I know that's illegal. There's no financial book that that'll teach you somebody could guarantee a return on investment. So I beat people mainly because they don't stay in their lane. And I beat people like Charlie Kirk, who's in his lane, but just lying. I mean, he's not honest. So I beat them too. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get to the video.
Teach a lot of people based off the people I had around me. Right. I felt like a lot of people had this idea about Jamaicans in general, about them not wanting to go to school and stuff, and then Africans being the ones that are excelling in schools, they're the Asians of Black people. Okay. Whereas Jamaicans were more lazy. That was what Africans when we grew up. That's what they were telling. That's what we grew up. That's what they were telling us. Let's be real, guys.
But a lot of Jamaicans told us stuff about
facts,
African
though.
too.
And I always knew that it wasn't facts because I always was friends with Jamaican people. My best friends are always Jamaican. They're literally, I was never friends with Africans. I wasn't we weren't.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing eye to eye. I was not listening to. I'm even doing this. I was not into that. Yeah. So I was always with Jamaicans, and the people that I was with were educated. They definitely went to school, graduated, had jobs. Mom was the top of the line Black woman working. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same thing that an African woman is doing. Right. So I felt even me, I had to help people around me, Africans that are around me, unlearn certain things that they felt. And literally once you realize that you start meeting those people, you're okay, but it's Africans are not especially our parents.
You see the code words. She had to help Africans unlearn, because when you start meeting those people, who are those people? Okay, so she's leaving a lot of stuff out. I had to show Africans to unlearn, and when you meet those people, what you thought prior isn't true. I speculate she's talking about Black Americans. I don't know, because she's speaking in codes, you dig, which make her a tether. Hey, just be honest, man. We already know the deal. Cat's out the bag. Just tell your story. But the fact that she's hiding information is more the reason why I'm good with these. I'm good with these folks.
Parents are not mingling with Africans that are around me. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same thing that an African woman is doing. Right. So I felt even me, I had to help people around me, Africans that are around me, unlearn certain things that they felt. And literally once you realize that you start meeting those people, you're okay, but it's Africans are not especially our parents are not mingling with Jamaicans. They're not. So what we're gonna see is
I don't think
like pasta videos on YouTube. That's what mans are seeing. Like Africans are not doing that. Like we're not. Like, you know, and they look down on that. They do look down on like you being.
That's actually interesting that you say that, because
why did this pink hair woman chime in when she was like giving up the goods? She chimed in. You wait your turn.
Like Africans are not doing that. Like we're not. Like, you know, and they look down on that. They do look down on like you being.
That's actually interesting.
They look down on you being, and her big pink hair ass chimed in. Shut up.
Say that because
that low key, obviously.
I've been starting to see a lot of Afro beats videos and like stuff like that, and I'm like,
a little bit, eh?
This is a lot like a pasa night.
Yes, for sure, because us growing up, like we're heavily influenced by
but your parents
and not even that, but like you see, my generation, we know, like for real, like the older generation don't know, like they were scared to mingle with Jamaicans. We're not scared to mingle with Jamaicans. We're in school with them and stuff. Like, so we have the opportunity to be like.
So she said Africans were afraid to mingle with Jamaicans. So you see now that they're finally being real. It wasn't just foundation Black Americans. Like they felt that throughout the diaspora, but they really mainly communicate that about us though. They don't really, you know, they feel the same way about all of the diaspora, but we become the scapegoat. They only say our name, Beyonce, because they feel like we are the prize. That's why they barely mention the other diasporans. They usually just talk about FBAs, and other diasporans don't get mad. That just like that's how they view. That's how the Africans view the diaspora. Like they look at foundational Black Americans as the cream of the crop. That's why they focus all their hate on us. They hate you the same way, you dig, or similar, but they focus it on us, and they by name call us out over all of the thousands of islands that's on the goddamn west, you know, in the Caribbean.
Actually, this is just a vibe. Like this is a vibe, because I was obviously at jams, bubbling at 15. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all doing that, you know, at YMCA jams. If you know, you know.
But also, I feel like we need to know our history as Jamaicans too.
Yo, what the hell is that? Is that a man?
Come from the same
because
continent.
we are West African people.
But let's not get it twisted. Jamaicans, you guys don't do that. Caribbean people did not want to be tied to Africa.
No, well, Jamaicans were known as the unrulies, right?
Yes, but you guys didn't want to be tied to Africa.
I love this African lady being real, man. Look, I don't gotta agree with whatever you're saying. I could disagree in respect. But respect is earned, and you earn my respect. You earn FBA respect by just being honest. We don't gotta agree with your total conclusion, you dig? But just be honest as possible, and we could work with you. But lying ain't gonna do it. So I like her being honest. Like, yo, Jamaicans, relax. Yo, y'all ain't try to. She like, yo, stop capping. Y'all ain't embrace Africa. Come on, you a lot of FBAs and say that bullshit, but we know better. Y'all ain't never reach out to us.
Africans,
Jamaicans too.
We all come from the same
because
continent.
we are West African people.
But let's not get it twisted. Jamaicans, you guys don't do that. Caribbean people did not want to be tied to Africans.
No, well, Jamaicans were known as the unrulies, right?
Yes, but you guys didn't want to be tied to Africans. I remember there was this guy, and he would be like, I'd be like, yo, you know, like black people are from Africa. Are you dumb, bro? I'm from Jamaica, bro. I'm from Jamaica.
That's how
Exactly. But these Jamaicans amongst FBAs will act like, oh no, we embrace Africa because we got Ghanaian princesses. We call our daughters Ghanaian princesses because we share similar. See how this lying shit, man, they do to us, man. But it's being exposed. Okay, what the hell is this? What is this? What is this?
Like I started being dumb, like I'm not kids being I started when people started calling me Jamaican, I started to be like, are you dumb? Because I kept seeing Jamaicans being like, are you dumb to Africans? And I'd be like, Like, and so when people say, I'm like, are you dumb? Like, like I'm not, I'm African. Like, what makes me Jamaican? Like, like you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I feel like it was kind of a battle between two. I definitely didn't agree with them, like I said, because I love Jamaican women. I do not think that way of Jamaican women. Jamaican women are the reason why.
She said it was Caribbean.
Well, I'm saying, I'm sure, I know. Which
probably
Caribbean
Jamaican. Yeah, they're talking
about.
Yeah.
Because we
Let's
all
be
see the
real.
Jamaican flags being thrown up.
Yeah.
Because we all know what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were not talking about Trinis or something, right? Let's be real. But you know, again,
For real.
like they were like, you know, like
Hey, yo, I was just telling my boy this. I said, yo, some melanated women, whether they from America, right? Black Americans, foundational, don't forget the foundational, or the island, or even the continent Africa. Some women do look better with hair added on. Some, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, I would prefer natural, but natural don't look good on everybody. I'm not even gonna cap. I'm a man, I love beauty, I'm gonna be honest. The natural look does not look good on everybody. Some people really look better natural, and some people really look better with hair added to them. I'm just gonna be real, okay? Because I remember a couple years ago, I was the natural, but then some women just ain't look good natural. Like they was better off with a wig or some type of hair addition. You feel me? I'm just being real. So today, for me today, it's like, hey man, whether you natural or you got a wig, I don't care. Just make sure it looks good on you, because some women, I seen a beautiful melanated woman. I don't know today from coming from McDonald's. I don't know if she's FBA or non, but she was melanated and she was very beautiful. But she had one of these long hair extensions, and it did not look good on her. Her face was already very, very pretty, and the hair like took away. It like whatever she thought the hair was doing, it was doing the opposite. And I wish women like ask men for advice more often. Cause we're gonna be real. Your friends they gonna lie to you. As a matter of fact, some of them jealous of you. They want you to look crazy. But men will be honest. Okay. But yeah, man. So the hair she had on her head, that didn't fit her. Like she's probably more of a Nia Long, hairstyle woman, the way her face is. She's more like Nia Long, like rock the hair like Nia Long. But that long hair, that didn't go well with her at all. But some FBA, some diaspora, some continent women, they really do look better with the extra hair. I ain't gonna cap.
Africans are not used to the carnival, like the bubbling. They don't like that stuff, but they don't understand us as teen, like us.
But they partake in it.
We do partake in it, and that's the thing.
And why not?
But we can't tell our parents. Why would we tell? I can't tell my mom I'm bubbling. I couldn't whine in front of my mom. I still can't whine in front of my mom. I'm 28.
Yeah.
But our cultures are alike, but they're so different.
Like ours is so.
Even with makeup, I'm not a big makeup fan at all. Zero. I prefer natural, no makeup. But again, I'm not gonna lie. You dig? I was dating one dark skinned woman. She wore makeup. She looked hideous. Okay. I was dating another dark skinned woman. She wore makeup. She looked better. So I'm like, shit, I can't even get mad at you. Like, you do look better. You feel me? Like one woman looked at worse, and another woman looked at better. So it's like I wish women just ask men for their opinion before they go putting on makeup or not put on makeup. You dig? Just ask us, just like men would ask women for their opinions. Hey, you think I should wear a tank top? You think my body type? And they're gonna be like, hell no. But they're gonna be like, yeah. You feel me? I think asking the opposite sex is important, especially when it comes to like beauty.
We are very freedom of expression, freedom of our body, freedom of, there's so many things that like free up yourself is literally like so much of who we are, right?
Not for us.
We're not reserved people.
No.
But
Yeah.
like
That's why
there are reserved Jamaicans, but we're not overall reserved people.
But that's why I feel like I understood Jamaicans or Caribbean people more, because I felt like
you could connect to that.
I connect to that because I didn't feel like I was like a typical African Ghanaian woman, and especially when I ended up wanting to infiltrate like the African community, they were not accepting of me. Like I was very I thought they were gonna love me. I thought I was representing us properly. Like I love being African, I love being Ghanaian, but like like again, Jamaicans and like Caribbean people, like they they fuck with me. I fuck with them too. You know, I love you guys. I love you guys so much.
Yeah, and I think the only issue was it was like brought in the attention, like once again, the attention of men.
Yeah.
The issue was
once men get involved, it's all bullshit.
And it's like come
who
on,
even
girl.
thinks about getting
We could get along if the men were not
It's
involved.
men, period.
They remind me of my cousin. Like I cannot. Like it remind me of a church boy. Like you know, like you see, we grew up in church and stuff. Like
all right, this is getting trash. I mean, let's move on. All right, here she is. Check this out, family.
Since forever, I could care less who did what to what. Because at the end of the day, the police in America or the KKK will not differentiate between Africans and African American or Black.
Hey, yo, listen, my question to her is, ma'am, how do you know that? Who told you that? Like, you don't know American history because you're a foreigner. You're a foreigner. You don't know American history. When the KKK, when they understood that certain people were not Black Americans, they were given special treatment during Jim Crow, ma'am. But you don't know that. Okay? Because you're not from this country. So police officers or the KKK, they're not going to treat you differently because you're FBA and I'm African because we're both dark. Yes, the hell they will, ma'am. Yes, they will. They'll treat you differently. They'll treat us differently once they find out you are a tether and I am FBA. Or they're gonna treat me like shit, 100%.
Americans, if that's what some people prefer to be called. So you trying so hard not to be associated with any group, like Africans trying so hard not to be associated with African Americans, or vice versa, baby. You think they care? Racism doesn't care where you're from. As long as that skin is dark, you're considered one. And it's just so sad to see people trying to exclude themselves. Like, okay, I guess, whatever makes you happy, bug. Whatever makes you happy, baby bug. So I just find that to be unnecessary conversation or war or whatever. The only thing we can do is just like educate each other. How about that? Like, a lot of Africans probably didn't go to school here. It's more so the older generation. The younger generations are pretty educated and not ignorant about this, and if anything, we should be educating each other. And Africans need to stop saying African Americans don't have culture, because when you come here, literally 90% of us literally have to embrace the African American culture because that's what we identify as. Yes, we still have our own certain cultures. That's perfectly fine. But on the outside world, you're still African American. So I don't see the reason why there should be any fight between both groups. So I know I didn't really go in depth into it because this topic is something that really pisses me off. Because really, like, why are we fighting each other? At the end of the day, we're all Black. We need to accept that we are different. Yes, we're the same, but we're so different. Our cultures is so beautiful, beautifully different. There is nothing wrong with being different.
Ma'am, we are a lot different. Okay, just know that. Without me roasting you, because I can roast you, but I'm not gonna do it. But we are definitely different from you. The look you have, that's not FBA at all. That screams African all day long.
They have their own culture. We have our own culture. We interchange in our culture. Both our cultures, we literally bounce off of each other. We grow from each other. Like, literally, if anything, we should be loving, accepting, teaching each other, and that's it. Like, we've both gone through struggles as different groups, and this is not just Africans and African Americans. Caribbeans do this, or Black Brits do this too. So I don't see why we should be fighting each other when we literally could just be loving, kind, and be accepting of each other. I really hope one day we all learn to accept our differences and coexist. Again, we don't all have to love each other. We don't all have to be buddies. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we should be able to respect one another. I just remember that I never showed you guys what the palette I'm doing, but I always use the same palette. So I use this Giza one for my eye, and this same one that I got from the beauty supply store. That's what I'm using. And for my foundation, I'll be using the Fit Me. Well, in order for us to move forward, we need to have a productive conversation, not this piggyback back and forth, the same thing. Nothing productive is coming off of this conversation, because people are just pointing fingers. No one's like admitting to being ignorant. Both groups have been ignorant about each other. Both groups have people who have said problematic stuff about each other. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. There's totally nothing wrong with that. And this Fit Me foundation has to be one of the closest ones to my shade. People bringing awareness to colorism or prejudice they face doesn't mean they're complaining. It's just them simply bringing awareness and be better as a society.
I caught it a lot from here because there was a lot of loud background noises.
My fault, family. I don't know what the hell this woman was talking about. She's rambling. Now, I believe this is Gilbert Arenas' wife right here. And look what the hell she said, man. This is some crazy. And I invited her to my podcast. I had to. But look at the crazy stuff she said.
People, because God is all about us coming together, and boy, would we be so prosperous if we all came together. But no, there's a demonic agenda behind the reason why Charlie Kirk died. God allowed it, but God didn't want that to happen. But God allowed it to happen because he's calling for correction. God keeps warning us. God keeps trying to wake us up to come together, not to divide us, not to focus on hate, but instead focus on love, not to focus on us being divided by the enemy, but for all of us to come together and be prosperous and fight against the enemy. Stop giving the devil what he wants. What are you doing? This man is dead.
Okay, she's talking about Charlie Kirk because she's defending Charlie Kirk. Listen to the wild stuff she's about to say. This is crazy.
He left behind a family, young children. He was only 31 years old. He was married. God bless his soul. May his soul rest in peace. I'm praying for him, his family, all the things. All the things. I'm not focused on whether or not this man was a racist. And if I must say, I personally don't think that Charlie Kirk was a racist. I think that a lot of people just couldn't handle that he was a truth teller. Now, if you're going to take out certain clips and not play the whole conversation and just take things out of context, misconstrue his words, of course you're going to think he was a racist. But if you really look into the conversation in its entirety, if you look deeper into the context, you'll see this man wasn't a racist. He was telling the truth that a lot of people won't admit to or are afraid to admit because they don't want to get that smoke. At the end of the day, we can agree to disagree, but I said it. I said it. I know the God that I serve, okay? And we are to serve God first, okay? God is love. We are to serve God and then serve one another. But you are calling yourself a Christian and all you're focused on is whether or not this man was a racist. Shame on you. Shame on you. Why are you justifying a man's death? That's not God.
That's some weird shit, man.
Even if Charlie Kirk was racist, and I'm not saying that he was. I don't think that Charlie Kirk was a racist. I'll say it again. But even if he was a racist, why are we talking about that? And the man is dead. Why are we talking about that and the man is dead? Why are we talking about whether he was a racist or not and he's dead? What does that matter? What does that matter? We need to stop playing victim. We need to stop being so easily offended. The book of Matthew talks about, okay, Jesus talks about how we should not be offended in his name. How we should not be offended. Okay, I could see why somebody would look at Charlie Kirk as a racist if they looked at just a clip and took it out of context instead of listening to the entire conversation and seeing exactly what both parties or every party involved in the conversation was saying. But instead, we just got to get so caught up in our emotions, so caught up in our feelings, continue to play victim instead of moving forward and knowing who we are in Christ Jesus. I'm not saying that it hasn't been hard for Black people. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it hasn't been hard for Black people. But when are we going to stop playing victim and pick up his cross and follow him daily? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay? If you don't want to hire me because of the color of my skin, okay, next. If you don't want to hire me because I'm pregnant, okay, next. If you don't want me flying this plane because clearly I'm not qualified and I just so happen to be Black, okay, next. I'm going to go get my qualifications. I'm going to go do my homework. I'm going to go work twice as hard as the next person, and I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that position tenfold. And if you won't hire me, somebody else will. All you need is one yes. You could have 100 no's, but all you need is one yes. Stop playing victim. Stop playing victim. No, I wouldn't want a homosexual performing surgery on me neither, regardless of what color they are. But if we really look into the statistics, most Black women are, not most Black women, but there are, in the LGBTQ community, there are more Black lesbians than there are white, Asian, Hispanic, any other race. And I say race because there's only one race, and that's the human race. We are all cut from the same cloth. We all have different shades of the same color, from beige, tan, brown, dark brown.
But keep in mind, this is Gilbert Arenas' wife, Alexis, that appear on his show here and there.
We're all cut from the same cloth, baby. We all come from the same God. There's only one human race, but because
Okay, I wanted y'all to hear it for yourself. She doubled down and said Charlie Kirk is not a racist. She said people take his words out of context and they make it appear like he's racist. He's not racist. So I wrote her immediately. I said, hey, you mind coming to my panel and let's talk about this? Because Charlie Kirk was 100% racist.
America continues to try to divide us, okay? The demonic agenda behind this federal government and whatever have you, the top 1% in high places being used by the devil. I'm not saying all of them, but a good portion. They keep pushing this division on all of us for a reason, because it's being pushed by the devil himself. And a lot of us are falling for the devil's tactics and not reading in between the lines. Stop playing victim. Yeah, it's unfortunate that, as a Black person, we feel that we gotta work 3 times as harder than a white person to get a job. But you know what? Unfortunately, that's just the life that we live in. But I refuse to play victim. I'm gonna work twice as hard, 3 times as hard, 4 times as hard, and I'm gonna get that position and flex on them. What's up?
Wait a minute.
I'm
Okay, so now this one of those uppity, now I don't know her background, but these one of the uppity colored women that's believing in meritocracy. Well, ma'am, if you are the right candidate for that position, why are you working twice as hard? Remember, a lot of conservatives talk about meritocracy. So if you are qualified for that position, why are you working twice as hard, 3 times as hard for a position you are qualified for? Explain that.
I'm a flex on. It's harder than a white person to get. We feel that we gotta work 3 times as harder than a white person to get a job. But you know what? Unfortunately, that's just the as a Black person, we feel that we gotta work 3 times.
She's about to contradict herself.
It's harder than a white person to get a job. But you know what? Unfortunately, that's just the life that we live in. But I refuse to play victim.
Wait a minute. If that's the life we gotta live in, then we are a victim. Because then meritocracy is false.
I'm gonna work twice as hard, 3 times as hard, 4 times as hard, and I'm gonna get that position and flex.
Wait, why are you working 3 times, 4 times as hard for a position that you already are qualified for? You're not flexing if you're working 3, 4 times as hard for a position you already qualified for, and your white counterparts just work 1 time hard and they get it. You're behind the line. You're not flexing.
Flex on them. What's up? I'm going to flex on them and keep it pushing. I'm not going to sit up here and, it's because I'm black. Oh my goodness. Suck it up. Keep it pushing. You only need one yes. You know, I wouldn't want a lesbian performing surgery on me either, because she has a demonic spirit attached to her. It's spiritual. It's not that I don't like the person. We're all
She's coming off like she take meds. That's how she's coming off.
God's children, but you're living in willful sin. You literally have an evil spirit attached to you. No, I don't want you performing surgery on me. And regardless of what race you are, I don't care what race you are. Once again, I wouldn't want you performing surgery on me. But again, it just so happens that in the LGBTQ community, there are more black than any other race. And I think that's why Charlie Kirk mentioned that he wouldn't want a black lesbian performing surgery on him, because majority of lesbians in that community are black, and homosexual, period, no, because you have a demonic spirit attached to you. Read in between the lines. You're just hearing one thing instead of looking at the entire picture, instead of listening to the entire conversation. Read in between the lines, do your own homework, stop being so easily offended, stop playing victim, stop being so quick to get all wrapped up in your feelings.
So we're playing victims. I got it. Okay, we got you.
Because when you do that, that's dangerous. And the Bible talks about that. You should not be led by your emotions. That's dangerous. Instead, lean on to Him. Okay? In all things, lean on to God. He will direct your path. Do not lean onto your own understanding. And I'm going to leave it at that. We can agree to disagree. But one thing's for sure. If you call yourself a Christian.
You see, she say some bullshit and she don't want to be challenged, so I'm gonna leave it at that. We can agree to disagree. Like that's how she handles her bullshit statements that she don't want to argue. That sounds ridiculous. We just gonna agree to disagree. That's how she closes out. This is a coward.
Shame on you. Shame on you if all you're focusing on is whether somebody was racist or not, spreading hate instead of love, instead of coming together in unity to be prosperous and do what God wants us to do. God bless. In Jesus' name.
Yeah, she is a nut who needs to take her medicine.
The other day I made a post questioning whether the FBA movement actually makes sense for Black African Americans, and they actually came for me in the comments. So many people were like, what are you? Where are you from? Da 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 da. Listen, that is hilarious, because actually on both sides of my family, we are so foundational. In fact, that it has been documented by state governments. People have done research on us. So no, can't tell by looking on the face. I don't know if it's my hair or what, but let's get into it.
African Americans are starting to act like white people, specifically being xenophobic and this grudge we have against other Black immigrants. I understand it's coming out of frustration and fear of being displaced, but we are not going anywhere. And clapping for somebody else does not dim our shine. We have been and will probably continue to be the dominant or majority group, Black group in this country for years to come. And oftentimes other Black immigrants tend to assimilate into our culture by like the second generation. So the discourse about there not being enough Black American representation in New York or in the beauty industry is irrelevant. Remember, it was our hard work, our progression that even allowed for not just Black immigrants, but all immigrants to be able to come here and find even a smidge of the success that they do. So when you see a Nigerian influencer, a Haitian influencer, big up her, but also remember to big up us too, because we still here.
How y'all doing? My name is Raekwon Diamond Kamal, and I've been hearing a lot online about foundational Black Americans versus African immigrants that come here to America and settle and become African Americans. Now, myself personally, I don't have a problem with it because this is the truth. The only difference between foundational Black Americans and African immigrants is we were here longer. That's the only difference.
That's it?
But
wow.
We are from Africa, the same as they are from Africa. You see, some blacks have this ideal that because our cultures are different, we cannot be put in the same category. Sorry, that's hogwash. That's bull. Okay? You see, black does not describe our culture. It describes our race. If you are a melanated person across the world.
Okay, so you see, that's why the PDF, you need the PDF. He needs the PDF. Black is, it goes further than race. All right. They only look at black as a race. And obviously we know black describes our ethnic group. But go ahead and embarrass yourself.
You're considered black. And they don't care what country you're from. I'm sorry. This is just the truth. They don't care where you're from. You're black.
How do you know that? How do you know they don't care where we're from? They just attack melanated people indiscriminately. How do you know that, man? What memo you get that we didn't get as foundational Black Americans?
Okay, regardless if you're from Africa or anywhere else where your skin just happened to be melanated, they see you, they go black. Okay, so black does not describe our culture.
Well, we know that's untrue because when reparations is being paid out, they're going to say, no, everybody black don't get reparations. Okay, so you're lying, bro. That's not how they see us.
Culture. American describes our culture. African describes our ancestry or where our bloodline is from. Okay, and unfortunately, it appears that out of all the different groups on this planet, we're the only ones that have a problem with it. Okay? Asian American culture is not the same as Chinese, Korean, or Japanese culture. It's not the same. But do you hear Asian Americans claim or deny or run from the fact that they're Asian? No, they don't. They're Asian American, and they're cool with it. You definitely don't see white people whose culture is definitely different from European culture. White American culture is not the same as European culture. Very different. But you don't hear...
Family, this is just an old fool.
White Americans being ashamed of their European culture. We just have a problem with it.
Tashi D said, what he's failing to mention is how those same immigrants will change their accent so you know they're not us should they come across the police. That's actually facts. Ray said, there's a reason each nation issues their own travel documents. Mac Ilwain says, go to Africa and they will deny you. Amir Lasser, like, what? Yeah, these dudes be just saying random shit. Okay, this is the same old dumb nigga trying to tell you some game right, and then he going, look at this fool. Like these people like this, they are defeated, man. White supremacy kicked their ass. They ready just to turn conservative, right? This guy is not far from being a conservative.
I don't. As a matter of fact, my family got rid of their slave names and took back African last names. That's why my last name is now Kamal.
Oh, really? Well, shit, you really ain't giving us no advice. You did. Take your ass back to Africa. What? Go live in Africa, man. You got an African last name. You should fit perfectly. Take your ass to Africa and go live. He'll never go. He'll cry and complain and try to advise us living in America with an African last name. Take your African booty scratching ass to Africa and show us how you can level up, man. Go do that.
And I'm so proud of my African last name. It's from Kenya.
No, you're not.
I love it. So look, just know this. The only difference.
JBZ. See, that's a damn lie about the Asians. Yeah, man, come on.
Difference between African immigrants and us is that we were here longer. Only difference, but we're all still from Africa.
No difference, but they hold up different flags to say that they are different. So a Caribbean person holds up a Trinidadian flag. The next person holds up a Barbados flag, Bayesian flag, all type of bullshit over their flags to say we are different from each other. This guy right here is a fool, absolutely fool.
Making us all African American, and I'm cool with that. In the meanwhile, I know some of you might have
African American. What? Yeah, this dude just ran his stupid mouth.
some problem with it. I really don't care. But please, take care of
Yeah,
your.
can you imagine him on over here? Can you imagine him over here? He'll crash out. He'll start over talking me, start babbling. He'll crash out. I can tell.
Yourselves and start loving one another.
The FBA people, I'm starting to think y'all are psychotic because y'all are also Trump supporters and Trump voters too. Because he's telling.
Yeah, why do they automatically say that we're Trump supporters? Well, we could be a Trump supporter, but that don't mean we voted for him. You know, it's a big difference, right? I never voted. I don't even vote for nobody ever. But I'm a Trump supporter in that I want him to continue his mission on getting rid of illegal, undocumented immigrants. I do support that, and for me, that's number one right now. ICE, ICE, baby. So for me, if that's called being a Trump supporter, because I love my country, I love my people, I love my lineage, and I want them to get the fuck out of here so we can have fair wages again, living wages. If that's being a Trump supporter, okay, fine. I'm a Trump supporter on this one thing, and that's immigration. Illegal immigration needs to go. All of them. Illegal. I did say illegal, right? So y'all try to change my words. Illegal immigration needs to go. Now. All of them.
Telling me that I don't look Black American. I am African, even though.
Ma'am, we don't give a fuck how you look, man. We care about your lineage. Are you FBA or not? That's it.
So I'm telling him that I am Black American, African American. My grandparents go back multiple generations, were here.
Yeah, but African American, Black American are not interchangeable. But you're confused. Like you could tell she don't know the difference between an African American and a Black American. That's why she's using them interchangeably, and they're not interchangeable. Okay, it's another fool.
My grandmother said that we were Black.
Nah, she's most likely a Pan-Africanist or a Black nationalist. But anyway, continue.
Indian. However, when I did my ancestry DNA results, no Native anything came up in my blood.
You know why? Because you were never Native, obviously, and your parents lied to you. No problem. What's your point?
I have 4% of Irish and Italian mixed together, and I'm happy about that. So that means the women in my family was not raped repeatedly over multiple generations.
Yeah, what the fuck is she talking about?
So I am proudly a dark-skinned African American woman.
Yo, that don't got nothing to do with that, you dumb bitch. If let's say my grandmother was raped by a white slave master, and so the daughter's gonna be mulatto, obviously, or the son. But if he decided to marry a dark-skinned person, then the offspring will be darker than her or as dark as her. But that don't mean the first person to start the lineage off wasn't raped. Like you just said some stupid shit. You're not dark skinned because somebody wasn't raped. You're dark skinned in spite of somebody being raped, you dumb bitch. Yo, this chick is crazy, yo.
I am a descendant of slaves. You cannot be that.
Who?
But I am. You do not tell me what and who I am. Y'all are.
Wait, is she arguing about Africans?
Insane. And so you mentioned I had on a filter. Okay, so the filter is off. Now what?
Hello and what's up, good people? What's up,
Oh,
everybody?
shit.
Welcome back to the channel. And
Yeah, these Africans, man. I'm telling you, man. To me, They're just dark-skinned Chinese people.
I hope you're doing great today from wherever you're watching this video from. So in some of my recent videos, we were trying to, understand or question rather this concept of FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Maybe for myself, out of curiosity, and maybe for someone else, so they can just understand further.
Now, this Tether, I invited him to the podcast, right? He made up 1,000 excuses, but he keeps making FBA videos. I invited him to the podcast. He said yes. Has he been over here? Has any African been over here? No. They love to talk about us, but they hate to talk to us. That's my catchphrase. I made that up. Africans, tethers, they love to talk about us, but they hate to talk to us.
What is this exactly? And
yeah, she was saying the most stupid shit possible, man. Like, she was purposely trying to piss me off. Matter of fact, let me go here. Because she was purposely trying to piss me off.
About the Negro. I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil.
Uh-oh. Is Dr. King being divisive? Is Dr. King xenophobic? Uh-oh. White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. This is Dr. King. This is called an FBA News and Update. You'll only get over here. Dr. King says he called us an ethnic group. He just said descendants of slaves. He just said ADOS. So right now, he just said ADOS. He literally said ADOS. He said white America must see that no other ethnic group, as blacks, have been a slave on American soil. That's ADOS. That's American descendant of slaves. He literally just said ADOS. This is Dr. King. Only on FBA News and Updates. I do this shit, man.
That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face.
Other immigrants groups are divided. Okay?
The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land.
So that was the Homestead something, and then the Homestead Act of 1862. No, I'm sorry, it was the land grants. So so family, don't confuse land grants with the Homestead Act of 1862. Those are different events. Do not confuse the two.
In the West and the Midwest, which meant that...
So he's talking about land grants right now. He's not talking about the Homestead Act.
There was a willingness to give...
Or maybe he's talking about both. I think he's talking about both, actually.
The white peasants from Europe an economic base, and yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this channel right here, I'm putting the respect on Dr. King's name as it should have always been. We allow Pan-Africanists and we allow the black nationalist organizations to disrespect Dr. King, and some of us even bought into that. We have no idea how brilliant this brother was and how light years he was above most people in that civil rights era.
But it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
A cruel justice to a bootless man. We don't even have boots, and they're saying lift your bootstraps up. We're like, yo, can you give us boots? Yeah, he is cooking.
And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
What is it about the
family? That's Dr. King. That's our ancestor. Okay? That's Dr. King cooking. All right? I don't fuck with me now. What is Tether talking about?
And what are the basis of this argument? Yeah. So foundational FBA, foundational Black Americans, are Americans, or rather Black people who are now claiming some sort of...
Hey, bro, I don't want to time you out, man. I don't time out people with wrenches, right? It's embarrassing to the culture. But, bro, this is late. It's 10:59. I'm getting off about 11:30. Don't come in here trolling, man. Because trolling is trolling. It don't matter if you got a wrench. It don't matter if you with the lineage. It doesn't matter. Trolling is trolling. So if you come in here trolling, bro, tonight, I don't feel like playing around, man. I got a serious show. I'm going to time you out for 24 hours. All right, we'll see you 11 o'clock tomorrow, p.m. So don't come in here trolling, man. I'm telling you right, that's a fair warning.
Nativity, or want to be recognized, kind of, for some.
Right, we don't care what you're talking about. Get up out of here. Tether. Okay, so I want to get on this right here. So now this is Charlie Kirk getting cooked again, but this is why I respect Charlie Kirk more than Ben Shapiro, more than most people, because he put himself out there to be challenged and debunked. So when we were bragging about his assassination, I'm like, nah, this is the wrong guy. Now, had it been somebody else that throw rocks and hide their hands, Shapiro, maybe Hannity, maybe Candace Owens, maybe it's a win. But we don't want to cheer on the guys who put themselves out there to be challenged, to be debunked, to be made look stupid, because they represent a thought, an ideology, a religion, which is white supremacy. So if you beat them up, that's a black eye for white supremacy, right? So the Charlie Kirks of the world, they put themselves out there to get beat up. But if you get rid of him, then you're left with the people who hide their hand after they throw rocks, Shapiro. So then you're good luck debating him in an open public forum. It's not going to happen. Like, he debates in controlled forums. Okay? Ben Shapiro debates in controlled forums. He's going to know everything about you. He's going to vet you, and he's going to cherry pick and not debate you. Okay? So the Charlie Kirks of the world, they were what we would rather run into. White supremacists who say crazy shit, but will put themselves in a vulnerable situation for you to debate them.
How this brother responded to it.
For example, United Airlines said that they want 50% of their new pilots to either be women or black. Okay. Currently, just so you understand, it's like 8%. So they want to go from 8% to 50%. Okay. And every time DEI is implemented, every single time, the lowering of standards occurs. Every single time.
Lowering of standards?
Correct. So can I prove it to you? We both want excellence, right?
Okay.
If you and I said, hey, we want 50% of the new people going in the NBA are white.
Okay.
Would the NBA drop in its standard?
No.
The
National Basketball League?
No, if we said 50%, if we say
50% of the NBA dropped and it was only white.
No,
I said would the standard go down?
I'm not hearing what I'm saying. If 50% of all new people going in the NBA were white, by decree, would the quality of play of the NBA decrease?
would the quality of play in the NBA decrease?
Yeah.
No, if they're the same standard of basketball player.
Hold on, let's talk realistic.
Well, what are you saying realistically? You're asking me if
75% of the NBA is black. 75%.
So does that mean white players are less better, or does that mean
whites are not as good at basketball as blacks?
Okay.
I mean, we got some big.
Everybody, calm down.
We got some big exceptions. I mean, we're very proud of Larry Bird. Okay.
No, he's good.
We're very proud of Luka and Nikola. However, the point being, let's implement DEI in the NBA. Okay. If all of a sudden 50% of all the players have to be white, which means they have to say no to otherwise good black players.
There was a time where this happened, right?
Well, no, I of course, and the league wasn't as good. That's the point.
No, you understand that there was a time where the exclusion of African American players was in the NBA, right?
No, for sure. I acknowledge that, and the league got better as blacks were allowed in.
Did it get better, or did we just integrate ourselves in?
Well, hold on, no, but wait,
the players in the league averages around that time weren't worse. We just got better.
Hold on. Do you actually think that? Why is it that 75% of the NBA is black?
Right now?
Yeah.
I mean, well, it was a certain point around 1965
why
where
is
a
it,
law
answer the
passed
question.
where we can actually...
Why is it that 75% of the NBA is black?
Because we integrated into the league.
No, because the best players are allowed to play in the NBA.
Well, actually, the best players in the NBA are European born. They're not even African American.
I mean, a couple of them are. As I said, we're very proud.
No, we're very integrated within sports, but what does that prove?
That proves that the NBA is not built on DEI, it's built on excellence.
Now, this brother, did a good job in responding to Charlie Kirk. With, I guess very elementary surface level. And I'm not saying the brother's elementary at all. That's not what I'm saying. Because Charlie Kirk isn't some intellectual juggernaut that you really need to respond to. But if I had to be asked that question about DEI in United Airlines, I don't know why he wants to go to the NBA as an example when the NBA is owned by white folks. All the owners are white. So the question is, why are the white owners hiring all these black players? That would be the question that should be had. But if 8% of United Airlines, if their workforce or pilots is black or white women, and they want to move to 50%, the first thing I would ask Charlie Kirk is you said that anytime DEI is implemented, it's a lowering of standards. Show me proof that United Airlines, for the current pilots that they have now, the 8%, where is your factual evidence, proof, tangible proof, like the court of law? Where's your proof that they lowered the testing requirement? They lowered
there's no proof. Like, people like Charlie Kirk are just bad, but the fact I like him because he's available to be debunked. I don't like white supremacists who can hide their hands, throw their rocks and hide their hands like Ben Shapiro. That's the point. The Charlie Kirks of the world put themselves out there to be debunked. Okay. Bro, it's not a lot of passion, man. Just, dude. Listen, what I learned in life is that every expression don't have to be expressed. Okay, bro? Listen to me carefully, man. What I learned in life is every expression don't have to be expressed, bro. You're in your home. You're in your comfort zone. We don't have to read your expressions. Your expressions can also be private. Okay? Your expressions are turning people off, man. You got to be able to read the room. Like, you're giving the chat an uncomfortableness, you feel me, with the shit you typing. So all your expressions don't got to be expressed, my boy. You can express yourself in privately. You don't got to put that shit on social media. I don't express everything in my life on social media in the chat, and I don't even articulate. I don't even talk about all my expressions. Sometimes I'll be mad as hell at what I read from certain people, but I don't say anything. You see? Because I know if I say something, I'm going to make it worse than what it should be, or it's going to cause confusion. So I just don't say anything. That's called being a grown man. All right. What else do we have here? Okay. So Phil never called FBAs the N-word like some black content creators. Now, Phil is very professional. I'm convinced that AI is trying to gather information. Oh, 100%. AI is look, Ray, don't worry about that. That's the least of your concerns. AI is 1,000 times ahead of what we're doing. There's nothing we're going to do to trick AI. So just kick that out of your memory, kick that out of your anything. Family, before we got access to ChatGPT, now, for those who actually use it, you understand how powerful this shit is. Before it became accessible to us, white people, the elites, were using this probably for 40 fucking years. And that's why they on top. I told somebody this the other day. Oh, white folks are so intelligent. No, they're not. They use Chat GPT. Well, ain't so intelligent. They use AI. AI is intelligent. And this is how they're able to rule the world for so long. In my opinion, they've been cheating. They've been asking a robot. You dig? All of us, man, Chat GPT is a cheat code, man. This is a cheat code. If I had Chat GPT, man, oh man, oh man. If I had Chat GPT on a low level, I'm not even talking about in a strong level and with powerful in Congress or no, I'm just saying on a low level where I'm at now. If I had Chat GPT and I was a content creator and nobody had access to it, oh my God. I would be litty. I would be undefeated in debates. Undefeated. I would have debated the best out there and cooked them all. So you have to imagine before we got access to ChatGPT, you have to imagine that white people, especially the elites, had access to this thing light years before it became available and accessible to us. And speaking of ChatGPT, let's look over something together. Remember that the talking point that tethers and Africans and Pan-Africanists use. Wait, before I go into there, let me look at the chat and make sure we ain't got no trolls. Okay. All right. Yeah, bro gotta take his medicine. I'm gonna leave him alone. He gotta take his medicine. Um, Facts like all tech. Tell Jay no. MC fact. Yeah. But bro's sick, man. He's sick. Let's just have a moment of silence from hopefully he take his medicine and get right. Or he might be in alcohol. I don't know, but I hope he's taking control of his life. No, Pinky Wells is right. Phil, he is up and down. I noticed that too about Phil Pinky Wells. He's up and down. Sometimes he's pro FBA and sometimes he's pro Africa, right? He sides with them on some bullshit. I noticed that. I didn't want to say nothing because I'm trying to like not cause an issue with FBAs. But yeah, he is up and down. Okay. Uh Ray says, he says, I'm convinced that AI is trying. Oh, I got that. I respond to that. MC Fact says, Phil never called it. I respond to that. Pinky Well says, standards were lowered. Those last two plane crashes were DEI hires, and they were, yeah, hilarious. Braxton says, evening, OG, sir, man. Evening to you, brother. How are you? Bro has been a nuisance since he's been here. Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, I'm trying to work with him. He's been off his medicine. He's been like acting really weird in the chat, and the chat is uncomfortable with him being there. Bro, you're gonna make me have to. You dig? The chat is why I'm relevant. So if the chat is complaining, dude, they are the consensus. You feel me? So if they say you gotta go, bro, I'm saying bro, my bad. But if they say you gotta go, you gotta go. All right. So we're trying to give you a chance, man, to just watch the show without typing. But the more you type, man, the chat is getting annoyed with you, man. And I'm gonna have to do something because I don't want to choose you over who's here. I don't want to choose you over 62 people. I'd rather you go and they stay. So shut up and just watch the show or you got to go. It's real simple. And if you can't get it, you'll get it when you take your medicine. Okay, so anyway, let's go into what I was doing. So I asked AI about this logic from Tethers and Pan-Africanists, right? And they said this is an excellent listen, family. When you get AI impressed, what you got to say, that's something. So AI said this is an excellent and layered question that touches on diaspora dynamics, anti-blackness, intra-black hierarchies, and historical strategies of survival and distinction. It says particularly among Africans and Caribbean immigrants navigating white supremacist systems in the United States. Let's break this down comprehensively. So I was given credit for how I packaged that or layered that question. It says the core fallacy of they won't differentiate. When Pan-Africanists or immigrants say a cop won't ask if you're FBA, Jamaican, or Nigerian before pulling the trigger, that's only half true. Yes, to the white supremacist or racially biased cop, initial visual perception often reduces all dark-skinned people to quote unquote black. But the reality is that social hierarchies or preferential treatment often begin after the first impression. So after he sees us all as quote unquote black, okay, the preferential treatment begins, especially in system of bureaucracy, employment, education, or policing when the black person speaks. But guess what? He's going to see us all black until you talk. You're going to use the accent, the way we dress. You're going to wear white shoes. You are going to wear your white shoes, your white dress shoes, or behave in ways that signal they are not from here. AI is cooking you tethers. Historical and modern examples of immigrants distancing from Black Americans. There's a well documented history of Black immigrants from the Caribbean and Africa strategically or openly distinguishing themselves from foundational Black Americans, FBA adults, to avoid the stigma, suspicion, or discrimination commonly applied to native born Black Americans. I got to read this more often, yo. I'm going to read this every live. Ellis Island and post-slavery West Indian immigrants, 1900s, 1940s. Many Caribbean immigrants. Now, this is something I remember we read that thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. We read something where a brother was writing about this, and we read it. Give me a second. Give me a second. We read something similar, and I thought I saved it. I hope I saved it and wasn't a fool. But it looks like, oh no, I got it. I saved it. So I'm glad 'cause I'm not a fool. So remember we read this right here the other day by Oswald Warners. For you guys that was present, it was Black in America too, Afro-Caribbean immigrants, when he said that they would wear the white shoes and dress a certain way and talk a certain way to signal to white racists, I'm not FBA. So they were delineating when they came to the country. All right. So I'll read this tomorrow. Okay, but let's focus on what we're doing today. So after I read this, I'm out of here, family. Y'all ever have a good night, a great night, and we're gonna have a better morning, grand rising in the morning. So if you can wake up and pull up with us, holla in the morning. I'm gonna read this again in the morning. Anyway, Ellis Island and post-slavery West Indian immigrants. Okay, it says many Caribbean immigrants in New York, Barbadians, Jamaicans, etc., actively emphasize their British colonial education. Where is this? Anglican upbringing and accents to signal cultural superiority. So they were acting like they were better. According to historian Winston James, these immigrants align more with white expectations and were often hired in service jobs instead of native born black Americans. They were taking our jobs, right? They were literally coming to replace us. They were not coming to get along with us, sing kumbaya songs. We shall overcome. Um, we shall overcome someday. Hey, they weren't coming to do that. They were coming to say, hey, hire me over that Negro. I'm different. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to fight for wage, competitive salaries, living wages. And I ain't doing that. Pay me under the table if you have to. Let's get it. Let's get it popping. Okay. Employers and institutions perceive them as more refined and hardworking. Here go that fake ass stereotype right there. Okay, now in the number two, in the 1960s, 1980s, African and Caribbean immigrants in higher education, African and Caribbean students, especially those on scholarships or coming from upper middle class families, often wore ethnic clothing. They wore ethnic clothing or highlighted their accent to distance themselves from the ghetto stereotypes imposed on native black Americans. I got you, bitch. Dave Chappelle, gotcha, bitch. I got you, bitch. I know how to research. I know how to ask the right questions. Howard University, a black college, saw cultural divides between foundational black American students and African students who viewed foundational black Americans as lazy, over politicized, or inferior. Over politicized or inferior. Scholar Ali Mazrui even described foundational black Americans as being culturally colonized by whites, while Africans returned indigenous pride. This view often created an unspoken intellectual and cultural hierarchy between Africans and FBAs. What happened to this police pull us over? They'll see us all the same. No, sir. That's some made up bullshit. Modern examples, police stops in professional spaces. There are numerous anecdotal and testimonial cases where where African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants use their accents, especially British West African and French West African, to signal to police officers or white professionals that they weren't one of those foundational black Americans, that they were not one of those FBAs. You're reading it, family. So we get pulled over by the cops, they're gonna see all the same. Yes, they is. Yes, they are. Until you say, "What Guan? This is rubbish. What Guan? And this is rubbish." Once you do that bullshit, Sakapase, Goosey. Once you do that, they know you ain't like us. You feel me? Uh, this sometimes leads to lighter treatment, such as being let off with a warning, while a native born FBA counterpart might be treated more harshly. So that there goes for that police cop analogy. In a 2007 study by Douglas Massey, it was found that white employers preferred African immigrants over foundational black Americans, native black Americans, in job interviews due to perceived cultural differences, not shared racial identity. Okay. They didn't see us as the same, liar. Why this matters? The false, we are all the same, we were all the same boat narrative. The idea that we are all on the same boat falls on multiple levels. Claim we were all enslaved together. Reality, enslaved Africans were not dropped off equally across the diaspora. Some countries abolished slavery earlier, and internal hierarchies emerged based on where people ended up. Cops don't care where you're from. True initially, but behavioral cues, speech, and attitude often reshape how blackness is judged. We're all black. Black is a racial classification, but culture, history, and ethnic experience diverge significantly between Jamaicans, Nigerians, and FBAs. You're done. You're done. So, have immigrants use their identity to escape discrimination? Yes. Strategically and sometimes subconsciously, Actions used to signal I'm not like them. And we got a song, they're not like us. What's the problem? They say I'm not like them, and we say they are not like us. Clothing and etiquette styled to seem non-threatening. Criticism of Black Americans' culture to curry favor with whites. Okay. Job interviews or court, immigrants have admitted emphasizing their foreign origin to appear more trustworthy. Wow. The bigger issue, racial profiling is not equal to cultural erasure. Yes, racism lumps us all together at times, but when Black Americans are disproportionately policed and incarcerated, foreign born Blacks are overrepresented in elite colleges, or when immigrants benefit from affirmative action while dismissing systemic racism in the U.S., as we see with these tethers that Amala Upiti Giannis has, bitch. It's dishonest to pretend there's no distinction. And when it's dishonest to pretend there's no distinction. So when they say, hey, when a cop pulls all over, that's called dishonest. AI, who's 100,000 times smarter than all of us put together, recognize that's dishonest to say that bullshit. And when some immigrants or Pan-Africans try to erase the ethnic identity of Black Americans while maintaining their own, it becomes a one-way street of identity politics. Conclusion: respect the shared struggle, but acknowledge the unique experience. Foundation Black Americans have a distinct ethnogenesis, history, and culture born out of slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and civil rights battles. Immigrants have the privilege of choosing when to be Black or when to be African or Jamaican, depending on the social benefit. FBA Adolph's identity exists to preserve that unique lineage, not to divide, but to clarify. So we're not dividing, we're clarifying. When you hit a like here, you guys like the video, obviously. Okay. I like that. That was fly, right? That was fly. Okay. So on that note, I got other videos, but I'm gonna save them for tomorrow. Family, those who catch me in the morning, how about that? We're gonna do one of those morning shows, obviously. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna celebrate, we're gonna grind, we're gonna have fun. And let me put my Cash App in there. I know people send super chats. The super chats, the way that works, super chat, I love it. Right. I appreciate it. But YouTube, you don't get that directly. You get that like at the end of the month. But I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow where I do all the time to continue my lives. I start here, then I walk and go there. So if anybody want to contribute to my coffee, that Cash App is right there. That's the coffee Cash App. That is called the coffee Cash App. Unbiased Ron is the coffee Cash App. So if anybody want to contribute to my coffee and an old fashioned donut for my son, that's the Cash App. 30 cent, 40 cent, $1, all that works. It don't have to be the whole thing. It works because it's a discount. But I will be there live tomorrow morning, 100%. Okay, so catch me on the live tomorrow. How about that? Everybody, good night. And I love you. I love my lineage. It's all